is a special day. We have, as I told you guys last time, we have Miss September from 2020. 2021 is going to be her year. She's gracing us with her presence. We have today the star, as it says on her idol, Miss Thunder Rosa. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, guys. I'm just, getting back in that fight shape. So, because I'm not used to it anymore. It's been a while since I was doing MMA. So now I'm like jumping slowly again into MMA. So, wish me luck, ladies.
Good luck. All of the luck.
All of the luck. All of it.
So this is a special Women on Wednesday that we're going to do. You see the women here. I'm going to drop out. The woman's going to have the conversation. So, but I'm going to ask one thing before I leave and come back at the end. Thunder Rosa, are you ready for February 6th at Mission Pro?
Absolutely. Yes, I'm ready. I'm actually done with you guys. Hopefully it's not an hour. We don't take it. Have to be at the train with one of my students. We're going to be training wrestling at 1-on-1. And that's actually for me. He's going to be helping me. So there you go. How about that? Getting ready.
How about it? Oh, let me do this too before I leave out, guys. We got to go ahead and get the promo over for her. So Miss Thunder Rosa, again, we're going to ask you to go ahead and put yourself over for our people. Go ahead, let them know your social media, your Twitter handles, how they can support you. I heard you got some new shirts. We just asked you to put yourself over.
Yeah, you can find all my merchandise on thunderrosa.net. I just have a new comic book that is for sale. It's a special edition. So I'm really excited to sell that, and a bunch of new posters and all that stuff. And you can find me on social media, Thunder Rosa 22 on all my IGs. Look, this is the book from it looks Tales from the Road from the Magneto, and this is the one that the Wrestle Crate people got. So I'm the only one who has this one.
Oh, she gonna tell us about it. I'm gonna go ahead and let you ladies take over. I want the comic book.
Yes, you can get one because you are one of my sponsors, so absolutely you can get one.
All right. Go ahead, ladies. I'm gone.
Okay. Hey, Thunder, thanks for having us. I won't start. I'll send it to someone else. I'll have Alexis. Alexis is one of my other podcast hosts at Down for the Count, and I'm going to let her start her questioning for you. And thank you so much for coming on here and talking to us.
No problem, ladies.
Gee, thanks for putting me on the spot. I've been a wrestling fan for a really long time, and we've seen like everything change, the atmosphere and culture aspects and everything. But now with COVID being this basically phantom that's hanging over the wrestling world, what's it like wrestling during COVID era? Because, unfortunately, this is going to be part of wrestling history, but do you see it changing once, we attempt to get back to normal, or do you think that this is something that's going to really affect the business for a long period of time?
You know what? I'm used to it now. I've been wrestling with and without fans for the last year. So studio wrestling for me is just like wrestling for people. I'm not looking for the pop anymore. I'm looking to tell a story. And I think that's what wrestlers nowadays should focus on, because there's nobody to pop unless you pop them online, and then you get the little gifts. But it's not about the gifts. It's about them talking about your match months and months after the match happened. And it has happened to me multiple times last year, actually. I had pretty epic matches in Primetime Network. And when they were aired, probably 300 people saw them. But then when they posted on YouTube, people still talk about the matches. So I think the importance right now from wrestling without fans, again, is how much worth you give to your work when you're in the ring.
And we appreciate everything that you go out there and do during this kind of weird time and all over the world. How do you think it's going to be when fans come back into the arena? Do you think that's going to start causing people to throw their game off? Or do you think that it's going to be like, okay, we gave them a show when they weren't here, so let's try to put on maybe double that because now they're here paying to see us again?
For me, I mean, speaking for myself, I will be doing the same thing that I've been doing. I always, doesn't matter if it's, like I said, if it's in front of anybody or it's in front of like 300, 400, 300,000 people. I will always give my best. And I think for as a matter of excellence on people's work, it should be that way all the time. Like as far as I know, when we have girls that haven't wrestled in front of like a bigger crowd, when they come here to Mission Pro, they're like, oh my God, the crowd is really hot. And they're thirsty for the entertainment and for that their fix of wrestling. So they're very appreciative of what we do.
And I only really have one more question for you because I'm trying so hard not to fangirl right now. Like you are just, you're so cool. Like I can't help it. You said in a couple of interviews you want to be one of the women that keep pushing women's wrestling to evolve further and further as time goes on. Where do you see women's wrestling in the future? And I don't mean like 10 years from now, but maybe like 3-4 years. Do you see it just becoming a bigger entity, or at least getting the same amount of respect across the board as the men wrestlers do? Or do you think that's going to be something that women wrestlers and female wrestling personalities are always going to have to struggle with?
I think if more progressive people that are willing to do the work, the hard work, which is talk about equity in the workplace, we will definitely see a bigger change in 4 to 5 years. But if we continue to just like be there and not to do things on our own, to try to like change stuff little by little, we will see some differences, but we need to put the work in, honestly, for things to change dramatically and drastically.
Right. Well, I only have one more thing to say. My 6-year-old, she absolutely adores you. She loves watching your wrestling matches with me. And she wanted to tell you, she said hi and that you're very pretty. So, that's pretty much all that I got. Just thank you for being awesome and entertaining us during COVID. Like, it's just super rad.
Thank you, Alexis.
So I'm gonna send this over to Danielle. Danielle is one of our other ladies from We Love Wrestling and one of our many pretty heels that we love to have. So Danielle, if you want to ask the questions that you have for Miss Rosa.
Yeah, again, thank you, Thunder Rosa, for being here tonight. I definitely, had other stuff going on, but once I got like the back call for you being on here, I was like, oh no, screw that other stuff. I guess the only thing I really want to talk to you about, or I want to get your feedback on, is that, you've done a lot in a little bit of time, considering the state that the country's in. And I know you know what you've done. Like, what I want to know a little bit about maybe what you got upcoming that you can share with us, but not only that, how much of an impact and how much reflecting do you do to see the impact that you've had on wrestling in general? I'll say, I mean, we know you're impactful in women's wrestling, but you've literally had a huge impact on wrestling in such a little bit of time, while the country's in the state that it's in. So a little bit, like, have you reflected on that and maybe what you can share that's coming up in the future?
In terms of reflecting, I've been like, this month I slowed down a lot and I really like just enjoy the moment. Just the fact that I was put in a very particular position working in 2 different companies and representing 2 companies in a way that I am is just massive. I mean, it's very few people that can say that they're doing that. And like, especially women of color, right? Because I don't see I see more representation, but I still don't see a lot of representation of people on top that are like a Mexican American, Mexican, Latino, just in general. So it's pretty great. Like going back and reading articles from PWI, like the one to watch, like that was like 4 years ago, and then the one that they wrote about me was like 4 pages long after I got the NWA title. And then the little article, which was the being, what was it? Inspiring wrestler of the of the year, which I had second place, but it was, it was really cool to see that, and it's really cool to see like the impact that one person can have in a business like this, because it's so hard to like navigate sometimes, and something like this when you are somebody that are not a second generation, third generation wrestler, that the only thing you have is your name and your hard work and your ethic. So yeah, I have reflected a lot, and I'm very proud of myself, and I'm really proud of my family and everybody that has supported me throughout the 6 years that I've been doing this, and all this crazy stuff that I decide to embark on without really thinking what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm really happy and really content. I'm, like I said, I'm working really hard to even make a bigger impact by coaching with other people, with Jazz and Rodney and my husband, when we opened the school here in San Antonio. So that's a huge deal. It's a huge responsibility, having students and just passing on the knowledge, and passing on I will say, our ideology of what wrestling is and what wrestling should be, especially for the underdogs. We call ourselves the Dog Pound Dojo, and it's for a reason. Like, our mentality it's very interesting. I noticed that yesterday, which is really cool. In terms of what I am planning for this year, I mean, I'm working really hard with Mission Pro Wrestling, and making it not only, like I said, a space for women to develop different skills, but also to make it a little more educational. So I'm working with my team, and in a way we can like do seminars that are very accessible for everybody, and not necessarily that we're gonna try to like charge them a gazillion dollars for people to attend them. We want people to come and learn, because that's what we can give to other women and men too, that are interested in learning some of the stuff about the business, because it is time that people get educated on some of the stuff that we have been abused, pretty much, contract relations, opportunities that are in professional wrestling that you not necessarily know, because you probably don't know how to network, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So stuff like that, I'm like really interested in bringing that to the light and make it accessible. And in terms of personally, I'm waiting to see what are the possible dates for my next fight. I still have a contract with Combate America until September, and I will be having a fight pretty soon. So that's why I was telling our co-host that I just went for a run and it didn't feel nice. I need to get back in shape, but we're working hard, and the only way that I'm gonna win this fight is by, doing it the right way.
Thank you. I appreciate your answers, and I mean we're big fans on here, so we're looking forward to everything you've got coming for us for 2021.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Danielle. I'm gonna go with Maddy.
La mera mera.
Hi, Maddy. I enjoy your time. Don't think that I don't see them.
Don't make me fangirl up here.
See,
I told Terry I wouldn't fangirl, so I'm gonna bring it down.
Fangirl, do not fangirl.
I'll be meeting you in person, so that's great. But yeah, so talking about MMA, you're an MMA fighter, so you obviously train really hard. And when you go from MMA to a wrestling ring, it's a different dynamic. So do you find it hard as an MMA fighter and a wrestler to pull back your punches and your kicks, because they look brutal in the ring?
Yes, I do. Not the punches, but the kicks I do. Those are like the ones that I'm like, but it's okay. They're safe.
They can take it.
They're safe.
They can say, you're a big advocate for women, and not just women, but people in general. I mean, you used to be a social worker, so it's in your blood to help people. So like, what would you recommend to anybody that's trying to start out a wrestling career, doesn't know what the first steps should be, and, or what is something that maybe you wish somebody would have told you when you were getting started?
Like, honestly, for me, and I will tell this to everybody that it's going to start training, just to find a good school, a reputable good school. Because if you don't, like, I always preach the basics are everything. And if your basics are poor, you will go through your whole entire career with very poor basics, and just like, you will rely on other stuff that you not necessarily have to. So I will do that with anybody. Like, find a good school, save your money for school. It's like an investment for anything else that you do in life. You need to pay your dues in order to get in the ring. Some schools are more expensive than others and are more reputable than others, so I will do that. And if you have to move, you have to move. And another thing that is so important, and I tell my students, is there's like three things that they have to take priority. It's finances, family, and then is wrestling. If the first two are not lined up, your wrestling career is it's not gonna go where you need to be. If it's like, if you have you have money, but your spouse or significant other is just crappy and don't support your dream as a woman or as a man, you're going to have a very difficult time going out on the weekends and like doing all this stuff for free most of the time for the first 2-3 years. They're going to believe that you're stupid. That is just like a childish dream. Right. But if your spouse or your friend or whatever, it's there to support you, believe me, it's a huge difference. So that's what I definitely will tell anybody that wants to join school. Get your shit together.
Get together. Awesome. That's great advice. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that really don't know where to get started. But
no, they come and they find out that it's a lot harder than they think. And there's a lot of politics. People don't believe how much politics are involved in this. And if you're not very good if you don't have really good people skills, it's going to be very difficult for you to like navigate in this world.
Jeez. Well, you don't have those issues, right, Thunder?
Well,
you got it down.
I try to be as diplomatic as possible when possible, but sometimes some people get really out of line, and that's when you have to really figure it out how you're gonna deal with some certain issues. I definitely am not a person that takes my personal issues or grievances about somebody on social media. I have a different belief on that, but other people do. So like I said, everybody has different views on how to take care of business.
No, and I enjoy your Twitter posts. They're very inspirational.
They're real. It likes it. Really, I really mean it.
No, and and your pictures are beautiful. So good job with that. I really enjoy that. I have one more question. I'm an AEW fan.
I know you are.
Of course. And you're gonna be on AEW next week on Beach Break against Britt Baker. Finally, it's a match that I have been looking forward to, and I know a lot of fans have been looking forward to. So how ready are you, or should Britt Baker be getting ready, and who's gonna win?
Well, I am ready. I'm always ready for any opponent. That's for sure. I think she should be scared a little bit. There's been a lot of disrespect in the last couple of weeks, so I'm coming in hot. And in terms of, of course, Thunder Rosa is gonna win.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Thank you, Thunder. Thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna hit it back. Nicole.
Talk to you.
Thank you.
Hello. So I just have a couple questions just around this discussion that we're having with you. So tell me or tell us about the moment that you fell in love with wrestling, and what was that feeling like?
No, it was when we were yelling at Otis again. Oh. And he was dildo. So I used to go to the show, and there was this really funny character, very inappropriate character, and I used to yell at him. He was the nicest dude ever, and he used to carry some toys, and I used to yell at everybody, and then he came and gave me his toy for me to carry until he was done with his match. There's actually pictures on Facebook. We erased them because they were inappropriate. But it was a great time. That's when I was like, man, this is really cool. Like, I used to have a lot of fun as a fan. I used to have a ton of, I was just waiting for that that day for me to go live and yell at the wrestlers and just be whoever I wanted to be there, and then just go about my business the next day and think about the whole month like, oh man, I can't wait to go out to that show. That's what I really, as a fan, I really enjoy going to live shows because I could be myself and nothing happened. In terms of like challenge, it was when I did the tryout and I got in the ring the first time, and I was like, man, this is like the most challenging thing I've done in my life. I'm ready. I'm always about challenges, and wrestling was one of them because I never really experienced how to train like that or how to be an athlete in general. Like, because I was never given that opportunity, and professional wrestling offered that to me.
I actually went to school to be a ref, and we had to obviously learn how to take bumps and do all the rolls and run ropes and all that the same as everyone else. And I tell you, I thought I was gonna die the next day. Like my body was so sore. And it's like even like Axel Lex is like I had to call off work. It was so hard. So I was like, I'm only doing this for half the time. I can't imagine everyone doing this day in and day out. So like I respect anyone who's like, I want to literally do this to my body every day for as long as I can do it for the rest of my life. So I'm always fascinated hearing about and it's usually I always hear either a live show or either when they take that first bump and they're like, I'm really into this.
Well, I went into like pain, I'm not gonna lie. It was
Yeah.
of it and like all the other aspects that come with professional wrestling. I really love it. It's like the business part, the networking part, the traveling part, the everything. Like when I go to Japan, I'm like really excited to wrestle, but I'm more excited to visit my friends and like get to know other people, and training like the different dojos and like stuff like that. Like professional wrestling to me now is it's just like it allowed me to live my dreams. And one of my dreams when I was in Mexico, I never traveled anywhere when I was growing up, was to travel the world. And I've been able to do it through wrestling, which is amazing.
I love that. So I usually try to ask at least one non-wrestling question. What is a guilty pleasure of yours that not a lot of people might not know that you're willing to share with us?
Guilty pleasure. Jesus. I'm like pretty plain. I don't know. Love going to the movies. I'm a movie nerd, and I'm a foodie. I love eating my life. Like every time I go somewhere, any country, any state, anything, I just want to go eat something local. I love that. I feel like I'm like in the food channel or something. I like the food channel. I like to watch. So that I will say that I love eating.
What's your favorite type of food? Or what's your favorite dish, rather?
My husband will say any type of Asian food. I love Japanese, Thai, Vietnamese, or Chinese. I love all. My favorite one, Japanese. I love ramen, like really thick pork ramen. I love that. I can eat that every day. Um, Chinese. I really like chicken with vegetables and the white rice.
Mm.
So plain, but I love it. And then on Vietnamese food, I like how they put like the meat, the egg, and the rice, and then that salad with fish sauce. Oh my god, it's so good.
Oh yeah, it's like the crepe, like the vermit with like the greens and then the stuff on it.
Yeah,
Am
it's
I
just
think yeah.
barbecue pork, and it comes with like a fried egg. It's very like Korean. Like our reception was Korean food, and oh my god, Korean barbecue.
I love pho. That's one of my favorite dishes, and I probably could eat it every day. When I was still working in the hotels, we had a lot of Filipino interns, and I fell in love with like pancit and the adobo chicken, and it's amazing.
Did you get lumpias? I'm assuming too, right?
Yes. So good. I miss it so much. I miss my interns. They were amazing. And not just because of the food, but they were awesome. Um, but I just have one more question. So, what about you, or what about Thunder Rosa as a character you think connects so well with other people?
I think when you're real, people can. When you're trying to be really like a character and you're like shoving into people's shows, that's when I mean, the character is cool, but she's kind of fake. But like everything you guys see about Thunder Rosa, it's real. Like the fearlessness, the sassiness, like, the happiness that you see when she gets in the ring, just they're ready to take on anybody. That's a real thing. That's some real life stuff.
That's amazing. And again, we're all big fans of you. I loved watching your growth throughout literally this year. Well, it's not this year anymore, but throughout all of 2020 and so on, especially you coming from NWA and then transitioning over to AEW, and then also with all the work that you've been doing with your promotion. And thank you so much for not only just being yourself, but also giving a platform. We're trying to give a platform to other women, and also mostly women of color, behind the scenes and in front. So again, I commend you for that, and thank you so much for again taking time out of your day training to speak with us.
You ladies.
Terry, you can come back now. It's safe.
Mission Pro coming February 6th. Sold out show. First cage match in Mission Pro history. Thunder Rosa, let me ask you this. I've been privy to see you since about 2017 due to a Facebook group, THWF. Never said that on here. But you know how to get a lot of fans to support you and get behind you there when in whatever area that you're in. Um, how do you think the crowd's going to react to you and Allison K on the 6th? I know it's your town, but
They've been ready. I mean, this match was supposed to happen around the same time in March. Well, it's February, a month before, but it's almost been a year. So we haven't been in the same ring in a long time, man. So I'm ready. I mean, it's gonna be a battle. I don't know if my body's ready, but I'm ready. Mentally, I'm ready. I'm just like,
how did you feel at the last show when you were on the top rope and she came in and pushed you off? Like, I knew she was there, and I was like, I wonder if they're gonna do something here, because you guys were going back and forth on Twitter, and then she pushed you off. And I mean, Baby D did get a win in her retirement match, but how did that make you feel?
you know, um, she was being like super, super personal during that time. But I know you already know, baby. They're trying to get that rub, that they see like you're being successful and everything. They're hating on it. You're like putting all this like, positive post, and then she's like twisting it and saying that I'm just like, I feel like I'm this, I feel like I'm that, and I'm like, this girl. And then she comes to the show, and then she does all that mess. So you already know how AK is.
But you did get your payback. So let me tell you guys, I was at the show and I looked to the back towards where the wrestlers walk in, and I just saw Thunder Rosa just sitting there. And in my head, I was like, just caused her to lose a match. I wonder if she's gonna run in on you. And then she ran in on her, and they fought back through the curtains, which popped me big time because there's no boundaries out here, and I like what they're doing. My last question that I'm going to ask, though, Mission Pro, this is your, let's see, 1, 2, maybe 4th or 5th show. And you're getting women wrestlers from everywhere. So me and Maddy actually talked earlier. How do you go about bringing the wrestlers in and booking them? Like, are you the one involved in that, or do you give that out to someone else to do for you?
No, we have a team of people involved. There's like 3 of us. We watch people's matches. First of all, we really care for the quality of women that we bring to our show. As you can see, we care more about quality than quantity of spots and storytelling, and I think that's what separates us from a lot of other promotions. We really, really care about that. And again, a lot of the women that we have brought, it's been women that I've known for years, and I know that they've been, you know, I will say at times discriminated against and not really used before for X, Y, and Z, and then they come here and they showcase like what they were capable of, something that I already knew for years. One of the people that I can say she just got signed is Zoe Sky. I don't like her name anymore. Her name
Zoe Stark. Yeah.
She was like hustling men for a long time and trying to show people like that she was very talented. I mean, she in FSW in Vegas, she was a champion, but it took her a long time for people to see like the talent that she had and the caliber of wrestler that she was. I'm really happy for her to be signed, and sadly she couldn't work with us anymore. But we had a lot of plans for her. But I knew that she was gonna be snatched like this because she was, getting up there. Another one that I also personally, she's my friend, Thunder Rosa Negra. I mean, I've seen her perform so many times, and she is just a firecracker and like a ray of light on anybody's life. Honestly, she just comes in the room, and everybody know who La Rosa Negra is when she leaves the room, and she's very memorable, and she is a great veteran. Definitely, like she helps a lot of the young girls when we booked her with them, and that's what we're looking for, somebody that will be willing to work and will be willing to teach while being in the ring, and it won't be like in a punitive way. Like we want women to come out of their matches to feel comfortable if they make mistakes and to feel comfortable to receive feedback so they can go out on their next show or the next time they return better, because that's what we're trying to do. We want to make sure that the girls that are here, they're not only like being part of an indie show, but like really taking it serious and be like, this is an opportunity for you to like act like you're on TV because somebody important might be watching. You never know.
You never know who will be watching. You guys who are watching this shit, watch February 6th on the Title Match Network, 7 p.m. Sign up, get 2 weeks for free. So I like all the matches that you're doing, Thunder Rosa. So I'm gonna go here right quick before we get off here. It's a few matches, few people who said they would like to work with you or face you. I'm just gonna throw some names out here for you to do whatever you want with them. Savannah Evans told me that she would like to face you in a match. Just recently talked to the Renegade Twins. They advised that they would like to work with Miss.
I love them. They're so.
But as for me, because it's the wrestling for me, I like everything going in your career. I like what you're doing now, but I feel it's only one other step, to solidify yourself as one of the greatest of all times that you can do. But we won't talk about that. I heard you say your MMA contract is done in September. But if you thought about that, or if that's the option in your head, it's a lot of dream matches on the other side of the pond that could happen that I would love to see one day. So who knows in the future what could happen, but I'm just going to put that out there to you.
Cool. Are you telling me who else besides three?
How can I best do this? WWE. It's some matches, some people. It's people, not the company. It's people in that company who I've been dream booking to see a match. You and Sasha Banks, or you and I like to see what you and Charlotte would do in the ring, or you and Alexa Bliss, someone of the same type of height and everything. Yeah. Also, no, I won't say that one.
Stature.
Who's that?
Stature. That was the word you were looking for.
Stature. Hold on. What's that say on there? Mercedes. I didn't want to bring that name up because y'all know how I feel about Mercedes Martinez. So,
I wrestled her, so
she has, and they've had some great matches. And Mercedes is like in my top 5, and she's not number 5. But before we leave out of here, ladies, do you have any other things you want to say to Thunder Rosa? Because I'm just hype about February 6th, February. Oh, every time a Mission Pro show comes up, I don't know if you notice, you have like a big match on AEW the week of.
I know, dude. It's
Ding.
just coincidence. Like, I swear. It's like, it's so funny.
I was like, is she trying to set that up? But every time Mission Pro has a show come up, you have a big match on AEW. So it's like in that, it's great because in that time frame, your name gets talked about. But it's like, man, it's double stacked, and then you might pop up in Tennessee somewhere. I'm just excited to see what this next month holds.
I don't know. I just know February 3rd and February 6th so far. So, and then I have February 27th in Imperial, in Tennessee.
Imperial Wrestling, Bristol, Tennessee. If you don't know, check her out. She's there also. Is that against Kenzie Page?
No, I had Kenzie last time.
Oh, okay. See, I pay attention. I don't know who her next match is, but we'll be watching. All right. Down for the count, Nicole and Alexis. Thank you. Danielle with the pretty heels. Thank you. Maddy Top Rope Squishy. We talked back in the summertime, and I told you you'll be here for this. Thunder Rosa, thank you for giving me the time. People, missionpro.net. Go to thunderrosa.net. Go support Thunder Rosa. We support her. You should support her. But, guys, I'm going to give my closing because, like I always say, my name's Terry, and if I love wrestling and you love wrestling, then we love wrestling. It's too sweet.
Say hi to you.
Hey guys, how you doing? You should be here.
You should.
Shame on you, but have a nice day.